Listen up.
You are now listening to Inside the Nation Radio, brought to you by us, bringing you everything from current events to what's really happening in your bedroom. Turn up the volume.
Turn me up.
And let's discuss.
Inside the Nation, we back. I'm your host, Abiyah Israel, with my four co-hosts, Rick, Tasha, Darash, and Tiara. Rick, what's going on, brother?
You're doing all right. Good, beautiful Sunday afternoon.
That's what it is. Tasha, how you doing?
Great. Sun is shining, but still cold.
That's still. All right, well, Darash, again, you don't have to worry about that cold weather. You in Cali. How's it out there?
Absolutely not. It is low 70s. It's nice and sunny. Oh, it's beautiful over here.
Can you tell her? Jealous. Can you tell her the cold weather is a beautiful thing?
No.
Hey, hey, what you know? Yeah. Hey, I'm praying for cold weather to hit Darash just because I'm kind of like, man, I'm jealous over here.
What is wrong with y'all?
Why he get to be warm?
What is wrong with y'all? Tiara, what's going on?
Look.
I'm praying for summer.
What is wrong with all of y'all? So to all the viewers who are watching today, I'm looking for 4 new co-hosts. Somebody who actually enjoys the winter. Let me know.
Wish you the best.
Email me at AbiyahInsideNationRadio.com. I don't know why y'all don't like the cold weather, man.
It's terrible. It makes my bones cold. I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
I don't like it. I don't
Oh,
like
you
it.
sound like an old
dry,
woman.
Lips be white, be ashy.
Yeah,
nah, I'm
Thank
good.
you.
But you wouldn't know because you in California. How you?
He all moisturized out there.
Hold on, wait a minute. Because what we're not gonna do is act like last night wasn't 45 degrees. Okay, it was cold enough.
Oh,
it ain't
45.
It ain't
Like
down
30
south.
right
It
now.
ain't
like
down
20
south
outside.
cold, but I'm from
See?
California, so that's cold.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
All right. I guess California gets cold too, just like it rains with the hard mist. But we know how to go. Oh man, we got topics for y'all today, man. We got to cover this one. So we can't say certain words on YouTube, so we got to kind of play around with it because if you don't know about the YouTube struggle, they will block your video. But we want to talk about this topic. So there was a elder in the church who, let's say, unsubscribed his wife from life. That's how we want to approach this. He unsubscribed her from life. A church elder. It blew my mind. These things happen all the time. Rick, what do you think about this, brother?
Man, I don't know why the brother think he can pull out his pencil and erase his own rib from him. The person that's supposed to be closest to him, and he just straight erases her, and then tries to hide the evidence. It's crazy to me.
So they were saying he tried to, what was it, like bury her in the field here? Like, what happened with that?
Yeah, they found her body in a field. Now, mind you, they had only been married for 18 months. The police
Right.
got a call that there was a domestic disturbance. And yeah, he unsubscribed her from life.
Wow. I remember, I think, Tasha, we were together when we heard about that, right? The whole thing about him unsubscribing her. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I don't know.
I would never unsubscribe you, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Better
yeah.
not.
I wouldn't unsubscribe you. I wouldn't unsubscribe her. I mean,
For the record, just for
the record.
Put that out there.
yeah, this
It didn't
song.
even cross
I know,
any of our
right?
minds, but that's fine.
Right.
All right.
So it seems like she had left work when the whole incident took place too. She was on her lunch break. She had left her job. Okay, I'm going on a lunch break. She never returns from her lunch break. So obviously people are like, okay, something's wrong with the situation. Now, in the midst of that, as Tiara stated, the police were called. They go to the house and they were called for the domestic disturbance. They get there. He's the only person there. So, okay, where does she go? And then later on, he calls them back out to the house to say, oh, she's missing now. Really?
Well,
So I think he probably
crazier.
told. Oh,
No.
my bad, Go ahead.
I was going to say even crazier than that because they ended up going inside the house to realize that he was the only person there because they saw little red specks, I believe it was, on the floor, and so they were trying to figure out what it was. But when they went in, they didn't see anyone, and so that's when they ended up leaving. And then he called them back.
Wow.
So he called them
Investigate the
back.
specs?
So he's trying to play innocent, trying to play the role, right? That's horrible. You're a church elder. As a matter of fact, this is kind of the same, but off topic. With the young lady who was unsubscribed, and this is not in a disrespectful way to say anything. Literally, we're saying that because, and not trying to be funny, because YouTube will, certain words, there are certain keywords, if you continue to say, they bots will block your video. And we want the information to get out. But there was a young lady who had the same situation in Mexico. Her name, anybody remember her name was?
The one that just happened?
The one that just happened. Jonquilla. Okay, Jonquilla Robinson. Yeah. I kind of looked into it. I think when I first heard about it, it was something about Kyrie Irving supported the GoFundMe with like $65,000 he donated.
$65,000.
Yes.
65. TR, you know what's going on with that one?
Well, she took a trip with her friends to, I want to say it was Cabo, Mexico, and her friends called her mother and said that she had alcohol poisoning and she drank too much and she passed away. So if they go home and they leave her body there, then a video starts to circulate about one of the women there beating her. She had no clothes on and she was just beating her while everybody sat around and recorded it. And the autopsy ended up showing that I believe it was her neck and her spine was broken. So they beat her to death, left her in Mexico, and her best friend, who was a young man who was there, he actually went back home to her family, took the girl's luggage to her family and stayed and mourned and grieved with her family. And then once the autopsy came back, he just disappeared. What it's looking like?
What's the motivation? I mean, it sounds that way. Like, Darash or anybody, what do you what's the motivation behind this? What's
nobody knows.
There's nothing out just yet about like why this actually transpired. It literally just sounds like a setup. Why? No one knows.
Jealousy.
Setup and a cover up. Not just a setup. That's the bad thing. You got the setup and it's like terrible, but then you set up plus the cover up. And then with the cover up, the best friend comes and pretends like everything's cool as far as like he's on her side. He feels so bad. He's still hurt. It's like how
is that a best friend? My question is, how is that a best friend? Like you guys were best friend this whole time and you're recording, or if you're not the one recording, you're watching from the sidelines this happening.
Then this like they all didn't like her deep down. That's what it's looking like.
And not only your best friend, you're a male best friend, which that's already weird to go. But you're a male best friend, and she's getting beat to death, and allegedly by a female. So a female's putting the hands on her, and you're a male who can stop it. And you have the
strength. You could have stopped that at any time.
Now you're the best friend.
He was one of those best friends. He was a
Well, here's the thing about it though. Even no matter his sexual preference, you still have the strength. It doesn't leave you. You know, you still have it. You could have stopped that, because I've seen guys who practice homosexuality, and you watch these videos and they're fighting women, and they still have the strength of a man. It doesn't change
testosterone.
Right. So he could have stopped that.
True Blood. That's really like Lafayette on True Blood, big old guy. You know what I'm saying? But that's things like that can happen. You know, it doesn't really matter. And we know the great so-called Alexander the Great. You know, everybody said his preference was that. And nobody would say he wasn't a warrior, dude.
Right.
That's true.
Dude was a conqueror. Like Starburst and Fruit Loops, but he also was a man of war.
Yeah, he was definitely a conqueror.
It says, according to TMZ and New York Post, that exactly what Ahavah said, that even the father was like, he feels like it was a setup. The question, I mean, I'm assuming eventually it's going to come out, because they're going to have to stand trial on this before they're all actually convicted. And the whole story might actually come out, because the fact that they had this whole elaborate story of, oh, she had alcohol poisoning and this is what happened, that's what happened. And then the best friend, or not, it might not have been the best friend. I think it was one of the friends said, oh, I'm going to go live tonight and talk about what happened. This was, I think, 2 nights ago. It was the night after it happened.
So let's go live.
Yeah, she's having people cash app her. She said whoever sent her the most money would get the exclusive interview on exactly what happened.
Whoa,
but the FBI has
hold
actually
on.
picked it up.
Hold on. So
that's wild.
Hold on. Hold the hell on. So was she at the? Was she on? Was she the one? She was there. Oh, she was the one actually beating her, and she's talking about giving somebody an exclusive.
She wants to give her
the reason.
why.
Wait, hold on. So the FBI must have sent her the most money, because they got the exclusive, right?
She ran and hid in Connecticut, supposedly. So I don't think they've gotten their hands on her. They're still investigating. But the reason why she's willing to give the interview is because since the way Shanquilla passed, was due to spinal injury, like a crushed spine and a broken neck. It's believed that Winter Donovan was the girl who put her like in a headlock or whatever, and then slammed her and possibly broke her neck. So Dejanay, this is the one on video that we see beating her in the room, is trying to come and clear her name. And what is believed is Winter was the one who released that video so that Dejanay looked like it was her instead of it being Winter. They're trying to cover their behinds. Nazir was one of the men.
She got beat. She got by
She
two
got
different
beat
people?
3 times.
Oh,
3 times. 3 times. She got beat 3 times. And her daddy says, what bothers me is my daughter weighs 120 pounds. She is not a fighter. She also does not drink. So when they came back and they told us she had alcohol poisoning, we knew something was wrong. My daughter does not drink that way.
Back in the video either.
Right, I saw that.
And she was unclothed. Like it disturbed me to my core. The way it happened. What happened?
It was basically a shaming. It wasn't just a beating, but it's a shaming. And on top of that, and anybody, I'm sorry, am I the only one wondering like who named these kids? Like, you know what I'm saying? They was destined to do some foolishness. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got one of them is a season, another was named after somebody on the Proud Family. I'm like, what's going on here? Like,
but you know, the sad thing about it is, just even going into this segment, we started off talking about the church elder who killed unsubscribed his wife. Now we're talking about this young lady who was beat to death in Mexico. And let's not remember the Kanika Jenkins situation in Chicago. Now, if you start looking at sometimes, and young kids, y'all got to really realize when your parents are looking at your friends who you're hanging around and they're saying, I don't get a good feeling about this young man or this young lady, listen to your parents, because sometimes this can be the outcome. You know, your friends are not always frenemies, right? It's what the old name used to be called, frenemies. Yeah, they're your friends, but these are the biggest enemies around. They're going to be the ones most likely to cause you some harm because there's an inward jealousy there. I didn't know she got like beat 3 times. That's horrible.
3 times. But that should tell you it was a setup, because it'd be different. Like if there was a confrontation, then maybe a one-on-one or whatever. It's 3 different people that ended up attacking this young woman.
Wow. Well, there was a video of her running into the bedroom because she was excited because she was going to tell everybody to put their swimsuits on. And at this time, they were conspiring allegedly to carry out what happened. So it sounded, what it seems like is they got her to Mexico with she was unsubscribed within 24 hours.
I got a question. And I'm not trying to be funny. Now, I'm sure they chose Mexico because they thought, hey, I can get away with it in Mexico, right? Yeah, because people still think they can cross the border and they're good to go. No, not no more. Right. So I got a question. How did these other young ladies look?
That's part of the
I
thing.
I actually want to know that.
I think it has to do with envy.
Yeah, that's part of what a lot of people are speculating. They were concerned because she was the prettier one of the group. I'm
gonna be real. Let's be real. Pretty girls can't have ugly girls as friends. Those girls are gonna get jealous at some point. I'm sorry. Get mad. Hit the thumbs down button if you want to. If you're ugly. Listen. Ugly girls get jealous over pretty girls. I'm serious. I've seen this so much eventually. And you know, and here's the thing though.
I think it's only appearance though.
But here's the thing. Literally. Ugly is an opinion. Because what I think is ugly, you may think it's beautiful, and vice versa, right? But if you have an opinion of yourself that she is prettier than me, then at many cases, jealousy tends to creep in. So it may be. What other things do you think it is, Tasha?
I think because keep in mind, she paid the bulk of the money for the trip. She was a successful hair braider. So the way it was framed is like they used her for her money. Now, keep in mind, when they went back home to tell the parents what happened, they left Shanquella there. They took her luggage and they took her credit cards. And that's how they got back home. They actually charged her credit card.
So not only will they be charged with murder, they're going to be charged with robbery and whatever else comes with that.
Or identity theft. Or because
definitely identity. Yeah, definitely fraud.
It's so much that goes into that. But to think you just, took this girl's, expired this girl or unsubscribed her from life. Yeah,
you took her life. That's amazing how you can call yourself a friend, but yet go to that extent. These were never this wasn't an overnight thing. This had been brewing for a while.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and the thing is that let's tie it in with that pastor situation. If the pastor's doing other things like teaching people what they should learn instead of, getting ready to take his, life off the planet, guess what's going to happen? If he actually does what he's supposed to do, maybe these people can learn things like, hey, don't covet. Because it's obvious these people coveted this woman. They coveted her beauty, probably coveted her money. And then what do? They not only took her life, but they actually robbed her after taking her life. Like, to add insult to injury. And it's probably not only were they probably ugly girls, they probably were, larger women too. Because even the fact they said she's 120 pounds, they probably could easily physically overpower her. On top of the fact that she had a male friend.
And think about this though. They probably were larger women, and it's like a lot of women think like, oh, I'm plus size and that's a bad thing. Well, if you want to lose weight, you can lose weight. But plus size women are beautiful. You should never think of yourself any less. We all have something we need to work on. But when you start letting any issue that you have take you to the point of jealousy to reach to the point of taking someone else's life, you don't have just issues. You got issues times something else. That's horrible. And so, Darash, tell me what you think about this. Like, if you look at the back to the situation and where the church, the pastor, what was his name again? It's slipping my mind.
Robert Lee Harris is his name.
Robert Lee Harris. This has to be a seed planted, just growing over time. These things that they don't just happen like in one day. There's something going on here.
Right. Well, the pastor was doing inappropriate things with men in the church.
Yeah.
I think that was the underlying thing, because for you to be 18 months in, you're still honeymoon phase.
Wait, what?
You strangled her.
Wait, what?
Came out and said that he was having relations with the pastor.
Who came out?
A young man.
Member of the church.
And maybe the wife was, hey, how are you a man and you're... What movie clip was that?
Married?
She was like, you were married and you're letting men bend you over. And then he goes, well, I can't remember the movie.
I think that was
he goes,
Girls.
Was it? Hey, no match bending me over. Then she goes, oh, you're doing the bending?
The one doing bending.
And the crazy part was when you look at the story, they were saying that police were alleging that earlier that morning, because I believe they found her in an actual trash bag. They said that he was at a Walmart getting trash bags and a fillet knife and a
fillet knife.
Yeah. And so when
he was about to cut her up.
He was about to do something. And it's crazy because when you hear about stories like this, like I think of shows like what's that show? Was it called You?
Yeah.
Crazy dude.
With Joe.
With Joe. Well, exactly. With Joe and the crazy chick, Love. Mm-hmm. And like this is the stuff that goes on in my mind. And it's crazy because even the neighbors were like, they never seemed like they had a problem. Like this came so far to left field. We don't even know how this happened. And so I'm assuming, like Tasha said earlier, she was on her lunch break and then she went home and maybe that's what the argument was about, the homosexuality, whatever the case is. And then ensued. But to say that earlier that morning, he was already. This had to be premeditated. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know.
Did he just snap?
I mean, ain't no snap. I mean, dude was already, like I said, he liked to drink Fruitopia. So obviously we know he was already off balance, you know what I'm saying? And then my man, usually them dudes are kind of jealous of women anyway. They kind of wish they were women and they don't like it. So he's probably jealous of his own wife. Can we talk about envy with the sisters?
Or either that or he's just trying to cover up his tracks and then trying to make sure he don't get exposed in front of everybody. But that's the end of our first segment. We're about to get ready to roll to the next one. This is the next one. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. All right. Hit the like and subscribe button. Let's get it circulating around. Also, segment number 2, living the fake life. This is one I definitely feel passionate about. Living a fake life. Now, I know a lot of our viewers who watch this video are going to listen to music and rappers who they probably idolize, look up to. Their music is fire. I love it and things of that nature. But some of these guys are lying to you. Some of these guys are lying to you. All right. Some of these guys are lying. Like, Tigger. Is it Tiger? Tigger? Y'all remember that guy?
Tiger.
Yeah.
Hey, you said some of the guys
Tigger.
are lying to us. I think you pronounced most wrong.
Yeah. Right.
Be careful, because this is the thing. A lot of hip hop artists today, the ones that are now up and coming, no, they really live that life.
They in them streets.
So but all the ones from the early 2000s, early 2010s, even some in the 90s, like Ice Cube, for example, they wasn't really about that life. You know, Ice Cube, Dub C, all of them, they wasn't really. They just made gangster rap, but they weren't gangsters.
The characters.
But
Plies.
The influence.
Let's not leave Plies off the list. And if y'all have not seen this, hopefully this is still Oh, y'all don't know about? Okay, so hopefully this is still. This is mind blowing to me. Hopefully it's still on YouTube, right? So we got Plies, and I'm just gonna summarize the story that Jamie Foxx told. Right, Jamie Foxx is on the video. He's telling the story about how he's out in California. He's gonna do a video shoot with Plies. He said he calls Plies up. Plies is talking about, hey man, you know, he's expecting to hear, you know, the goon, what's up, man? You know, all that type of stuff. But, you know, Plies answers the phone. Hey, Jamie, how you doing? You know, going to get together, go over the particulars and things. Plies, Jamie, like, I'm like, just Plies, you know? Right. So he's like, okay, so we go out to the video shoot. We get out to the video shoot. Well, the goon Plies show up, right? The thug show up. And he was like, this is a whole different dude. But while they were shooting the video, now you got to go and watch the video because Jamie Foxx is going to tell the story. While they're about to shoot the video, Jamie says, well, some real goons show up. Some guy by the name of 40 Glock. He's an artist too, you know.
Yeah.
So they show up to the video shoot. They're looking for Plies, right? So Jamie said, you know, I look around. I forgot who stayed with him, his cousin, a niece, or somebody, and one bodyguard or somebody. Everybody else out of there, including Plies. He's gone. He's not there anymore. So Jamie said, I got to talk these guys down, you know. And the guy, 40 Glock, is saying, they're trying to steal our life, what we really living. Now, keep that in mind that 40 Glock said that. They're trying to steal our life, the way we really living and things of that nature. So he talks them down. They leave. Later, Plies come out the girls' bathroom. Like, you got to see ready. You got to go watch the video. Plies comes out of the girls' bathroom and tells Jamie, hey, man, I didn't want this for you. And Jamie was like, for me? They want me. They wanted you. You know, the point is, it's sad that you ran, but this female stood with me while y'all ran. And then Plies goes back and make a diss song on Jamie Foxx. How you make a diss song on Jamie Foxx? Jamie Foxx is an actor, a singer, a comedian. He's not in the gangster life. Like, how you dissing Jamie Foxx?
Before you get me.
He don't even beef though. Like,
right.
First off, how you make a diss song to Jamie Foxx because he told you that it's a shame that this woman stood or this
well, he didn't necessarily say that part. That was me. I'm saying it's a shame that she stood there, you ran, but that was his sentiment. You know, he didn't necessarily say it, but overall, that's what happened.
That's hilarious. I mean, at the end of the day, we talked about it a few shows back. You know, a lot of rap beef be fake, and some of it be off, you know, fraudulent nonsense too. You know, right. If you're gonna diss, that's like I don't know, Mozzie or Nipsey making a diss song to like a Chris Brown. Like, one, y'all not even in the same genre. Y'all ain't really in the same life. Like, what really was the reason that you had to make a diss song for this individual?
Because he told the truth.
Well, you gotta remember, Jamie was gonna get unpredictable, so maybe he thought he was gonna come out with a circuit.
I see what you did there.
I got that reference.
Also, hey, listen, remember I told y'all, right? Oh, I'm gonna get right back to you, Tasha. I told y'all, remember what 40 Glock said, because he's mad because Plies trying to live our life. Now, maybe a month, 2 months after I seen that interview with Jamie Foxx about 40 Glock punking Plies, then I see the gang beating up 40 Glock and punking him. So he's punching him all in his face. 40 Glock is refusing to fight back. He's running. He's falling, his pants falling out, he's running. You know, gang is just beating him up, punching him all in his face. I'm like, wow, this is the same dude who punked Plies. Right? So
when the game was beating up in the bush, he was like punching him into the
bush. You saw that. He punched him in the bush. Now, 40 Glock has an interview with the radio station, and the radio station, it's over the phone. It's like, hey, man, look, 40, you got to come and address this, man, because, you know, y'all tough, y'all macho men. You got to come address how you let some dude, you know, and I ain't just trying to call game some dude, but, you know, if you punch me in my face, you just some dude. How you let some dude come and punch you in your face, and you just going to let that ride like that? But you a gangster, right? Mm-hmm. He was like, no, they had guns. Like, dude was like, nah. And I saw the video. I'm like, nah, wasn't no guns out there. Them bullets that you thought you was getting hit by, that was his fist. That was his fist.
They jumping me.
Yeah, you hit that Kevin Hart. He know where it was coming from. But this is what our children listen to. Like I said before on the last show, the Pac and Big beef wasn't a real beef, according to the interview that Big gave. But the people following think it's a real beef. Yeah, these are manufactured things. And the people who own our voice, as Kanye stated, are pushing these type of situations. But yet our children are thinking these things are real. But these rappers are really living a fake life. Because when they really get in a situation, when they really listen, I'm passing the mic after this. If you know how if somebody's really about that life or from that life, right? In the area that I grew up in, I didn't want to live there. I didn't want to be a part of it. Why? Because I seen it. I was around it. I was in it. I never lived the life. I was never a street dude, right? But all around me, that whole saying that, oh, everybody I went to school with either dead, locked up, in, whatever. That's my reality. Literally, that's my reality. So therefore, I never wanted to be that. People who actually deal with that don't want to be in that. They find it. They're trying to find ways out of it. Those who ain't really living that life or know what it's really about, they're trying to find ways into it. And that's how you can tell the real from the fake.
On the other side. That's really what it boils down to.
Not that green, because grass in the hood is nothing but dirt.
But not
that's because you in California. Y'all don't got grass.
Yeah, I would say, y'all don't even got grass.
Actually, yes, we do. First of all, both y'all wrong. We actually do have grass.
California got palm trees too.
LA last year, man. I was like, where's the grass at? I see cactus. I'm like, whoa, I got cacti out here. Hey,
you got to go to a certain neighborhood. You see grass and palm trees in Cali.
You see that?
Neighborhood?
Is it real grass?
Yep. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was real. I think it was real.
First of all, you ain't never left Ohio, so I ain't trying to.
I've been all over the country. Okay.
Hey, on Google. Darash on Google Maps. So I guess. Google Maps, you're traveling.
Right. But what's crazy is when you look at these artists, right? Like I one of the more recent ones with like an actual major situation, like the 6ix9ine, Tekashi 6ix9ine, right?
Right.
He was hood, and he even said it was in the New York Times. It was talking about they asked him about why he basically, what did you get out of, playing this role of being a gangster? And it says, after that, Mr. Hernandez said in court, he believed video gang members were a part of his formula. This is Tekashi 6ix9ine. He said they were a part of the formula for my success. Right. And so asked by prosecutors what he got out of his connection to the gang, Mr. Hernandez, 6ix9ine, I would say my career and street credibility. So he grew up. Here's the thing, though. He did grow up in a bad area, but he wasn't street. He wasn't part of it. Right. He was a kid in the hood that was a good kid. But then he became a rapper and started rapping about that life. Then he started paying gangbangers to pretty much, say, yeah, I'm official. I'm part of the hood, whatever. Be in my music videos, all of that good stuff. Gained the street credibility. Then they had a situation where they got caught up in a situation and there was charges that was brought up.
Charges.
Yeah, and 6ix9ine was like, no, that wasn't. No, I'm not a part of that. It was him, and it was him, and it was
right. That's when it really shows like what you're really about. Go ahead, Tasha.
Right.
Yeah. So, and kind of going along with those RICO charges and things like that, I feel like now, because of the whole thing, his saying it was my career, it helped develop my career. These A&R people are going after people who actually live this life. We don't have to manufacture your street credibility anymore. You're going to come with that street credibility.
Right.
But keep in mind, they have a safety net.
Life insurance
policy.
Life insurance.
Because now they have that death clause written into it, which says that they don't need to get the parents' permission. They don't need to get the artist's permission. They're going to secure their investment by taking out life insurance on this person. No one else is entitled to the benefit, but the recording industry or whoever's funding them, and that's it. So for some people, because it was even quoted what Puffy mentioned for Biggie Smalls, he's worth more to me expired than he is alive. And you see, he's still eating off of his records 20, 30 years later.
And he ain't got to share it with nobody. Well, I ain't gonna say that because I already know who he's sharing it with, but I'm sure he get the majority of it. One artist I do want to bring up. I really want to bring this artist up before we run out of time. I gotta say this. Rick Ross.
I knew that was coming.
I gotta bring this up.
I knew it was coming.
Now, a lot of times, young men lose their lives in the hood, in the ghettos, based off, misconceptions, misunderstandings, things of that nature. Like, he started a beef. Y'all remember this beef? It's old. Back with 50 Cent. And well, he looked at me a certain way at the VMAs. 50 said, I never even saw the dude. Just because somebody's looking your direction, that does not mean they're looking at you.
They're looking at you.
Right.
My young brothers, stop the dumbness. Stop the stupid. I'll bleep it out later. Stop the stupid madness, right? Just because they're looking at your direction, doesn't mean they're looking at you. Now it's a gunfight back and forth. One of you dead, if not both of you dead, just because you thought somebody was looking at you. But anyway, this is where this beef came from. Rick Ross, William Leonard Roberts II, who adopted the name Rick Ross from a real drug dealer. Right? Yeah, William.
Three-way whiskey.
William, right? Right? So William took the name Rick Ross. Now, let's understand, William actually studied criminal justice while in college, though, right? Went to college, studied criminal justice. Initially denied the photograph that's floating around online. He denied that that's him. And if you guys, we'll put that up. He initially denied the photograph of him in the correctional officer. It's a whole body with a head on it. The head just happened to look like Rick Ross, and it's wearing the body's wearing the correctional officer uniform.
Identical.
That's you. All right. So after he could no longer deny it, he started saying, okay, I did work for the corrections for like 95 to 97, for a short stint. But no. What happened was this. Let me break this down for y'all. Your image consultant or whoever, your publicist, they say, hey, listen, brother, you can't deny this, brother. They got pictures of you. You're going to have to say something else, right? So he comes out and says, well, I didn't like the training and I was late. So I said, man, forget that. Then I went to the streets. Look, nigga.
You don't find any information of him actually being in the streets. Any
no, at all.
Any allegations.
So check this out. You're in the correctional officer uniform. Anybody else, like let's be real. I'm a former police officer. I can't go and just be a gangster rapper right now, right? For one, I never lived a life, nor do I want to live a life. I don't see both sides of everything. I don't want to live a life.
Right. You
got out there and claimed this image, and shame on you rappers who let him claim this image. Shout out to 50, because he calls him out. You could love him, like him, hate him. 50 gonna call it. You say something to him, you get something wrong, he gonna tell the truth. Hey, listen, this what it is. And what he's saying, he'll be lying. You might not like it, but he'll be lying. So shame on you rappers who let this man come out here and do this. And this is what our children are seeing. They think this is real, but no. Like Young Jesus is another one. I'm gonna say that for you, Spire Time. Young Jesus is another one. Yeah, you telling people to trap or die, but yeah, your son in the private school somewhere, right?
Exactly.
What's up with that? Who?
Always talking about Future. He talks a lot about drinking lean and codeine, et cetera, but then he actually came out and said that he was sober. He wasn't even doing the drugs that he was constantly rapping about.
Pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
All you're saying is I'm a controlled puppet trying to lead my people to destruction.
That
all
goes
to
back
get
to
the
that
bag.
Lior video when
Wow,
Lior was talking about
Yes.
Liar, yep.
Yes.
Lior.
Exactly.
Lil Wayne was another one too. Lil Wayne, he grew up in the hood. Another one that actually kind of have a hard life, but he was a good kid, great grades. He even has a degree in psychology, but he's going around like he's a killer and effing these females and doing all these drugs. Now, granted, he was really doing them drugs, but
doing them girls too. Dude got baby mamas like a mug.
But playing that gangster rap type role, but he wasn't really a gangster. He was a rapper, and everyone said he was a good kid out there. So he was another one too.
Yeah. Tasha, what do you think about it?
That the rappers they're not selling drugs, let's be honest, to sustain their wealth. They're making investments. You see the moves they're making. Rick Ross has how many wing stops that he owns and intends to pass on to his children. He's creating a legacy. Meanwhile, he's telling your children only way to be successful is to go out there and sell drugs.
And you know what, Tasha, though? Somebody or a lot of somebody is going to watch this and get mad at us for saying this about their favorite rappers. Although we have facts, we can prove this. So it's going to be ugly back and forth in the comment section, maybe. We'll see.
They'll be all right.
They'll be all right.
They'll be all right.
That's the end of our second segment, man. We're on to the next. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. Good cop, bad cop. What's really good? Hey, listen. Somebody asked me, they said, well, hey, man, how can you be a police officer knowing that what police officers were created for? And my response to that is always the same. Your history's off. It wasn't created for that. We had police officers back in antiquity. We can go way back to find police officers. And in this country here, it had constables roaming the streets before the police officers. Now, were they used to catch? Yes, they were. But were they created for that? That wasn't the initial creation. That part of the history is off. So how can you do that though? They harm your people. Well, how can you eat McDonald's? It kills your people too. Everything's intertwined. You know what I mean? But you know what though? Had I not worn it, I'll tell people this: had I not worn that uniform, there's 3 calls right now. It's a lot of them, but there's 3 specifically that I would call to mind that if I was not there, the brother was not going home. I'm pretty sure of it. It would have went a whole nother way. And I hate when our people discourage our people from taking positions of authority. No, don't discourage us from taking it. Who do you want showing up when something's going wrong at your door? Somebody who understands you as a people, who you are, or somebody who has no clue and waiting to get ready to pop you? I'd rather see me and feel more comfortable showing up. What y'all think? Darash, what you think about that?
I mean, I've always had mixed feelings about it. It wasn't until probably like a few years ago that I kind of had the same sentiments as you. Because at the end of the day,
Well, this was before or after you got rid of the warrants?
get out of here.
Hey, he thought about it for a second. Wait, I had warrants?
I did. Hey, I had a process that I was like, before I did what? No, but and even now I still kind of like it's kind of like down the middle because like you said, at the end of the day, there you can be in a situation to make a difference, and
Right.
even if it's just one difference, making sure someone doesn't get killed, making sure someone's able to go home, making sure that a cop doesn't overstep their boundaries.
Right.
It could help even if you save one life. It's
Yeah.
a big deal. But at the same time, with all the hatred that you get from your own people and the unappreciative individuals that the unappreciative people that you get that will be in your community, and even when you do go against the grain, all the hell that you're in the flack that you're going to catch
From both
within
sides.
your division.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then it's kind of like it gets really hard to really, because you can try to step into a system to make a difference, but once you start touching a little too much and going against the grain too much, then they're going to start to ostracize you.
That's
And then
essentially
you're
true.
at
target
risk.
on your back.
That is
Right.
definitely
but
true.
but before we go into anything, we gotta remember, we gotta forgive Darash. He's gonna be split down the middle always because he still got NWA fuck police embedded in his DNA. So he's gonna be there.
Well, maybe.
It's I'm from LA and that's kind of true.
Oh, boy. Hey, so
But
listen
all
to
jokes
this.
aside,
Check this
though,
out really quick.
It's always. Oh,
Go ahead, Rick. I'm gonna drop something. Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say, but on some all seriousness though, a lot of people that do have the attitude usually are people that have been into some stuff where they're being enforced, the laws being enforced upon them. If you get punished, a lot of times people are mad at the belt for the punishment. It's just okay. Sometimes you just brought the belt upon yourself. It's
true.
all right to think that, but be glad if the enforcement does look like you, because you'll have a higher chance of getting mercy from
Right.
people that look like you and think like you and
Right.
are looking out for you and your people.
It's like getting mad at the mailman when he bring you a bill, right? Like, listen, man, pay your bill. But check this out. So when I was training as a police officer, I had a white FTO. That's a field training officer. And I'm driving. He looks over at me. He goes, I'm going to tell you this. You're going to have a harder time when we go through the hood than I am. Do you know what he meant by that? Why would I have a harder time than you?
You're a traitor. You're a traitor.
Because they feel betrayed by you being
Not,
a cop.
that's not even the primary reason. That's not even primary
An
reason.
authority figure.
They don't
They
see you as
an
a
equal.
exactly. You're equal. You're not authority. The white guy is the authority.
That's the authority.
The whole traitor thing never even played into it. It's just like when I was working inside of the jail. One of the guys told me, he was like, Depp, and mind you, now the way I dealt with men, I dealt with men like men, right?
Like men.
You're not here because I'm better than you. You made a mistake, serve your time, go home, right? So I dealt with men like men. And we had a situation one day where one of the guys came up to me and he was mad. He was like, Depp, I'm telling you, man, I'm about to go ahead and bleep, right? I'm like, man, just relax. He's like, no. You one of the coolest Depps here. Depp is short for deputy. You one of the coolest Depps here, right? He says, when the white guys come in here, everybody zip it up. Nobody's saying nothing. When you come in here, you got to show your authority to make them listen to you. They don't do the white guys like that. Why? They didn't look at me as an authority figure. That was the first thing on their list. Oh, he's just one of us. And and Rick, think about it. That actually goes back to the plantation. That's our mindset as a people. We can't look at us in those seats. Nah. Even when Obama was president, he got a lot of that as well. He wasn't really looked at as an authority figure. Why?
Right.
Skin was too dark. What do you think? His skin was too
It
dark.
wouldn't be President Obama. It would be man, nigga Barack. What's up, man? What's up? It would come to him and they wouldn't address him the way,
Right.
And I'm talking about
title.
speaking amongst each other. Yeah, like
Right.
you address his
Obama.
title, respect who he is, his position. You know what I'm saying? The man is in a position of power.
Right. Exactly. Now, again, I don't agree with all of his politics and everything he did, but speaking to the topic we're talking about, address him as President Obama. Go ahead, Tasha.
I wanted to bring up a recent story that has to do with a bit of the situation. And you would think it would be more like a racist situation or white versus black potentially, but one of our own was involved in the situation.
Yes.
So actually two of our own, one was the victim and one was part of the actual one that was doing the assault. So essentially Jared Hobbs, he's a man who was arrested and he was taken to Camden County Jail. While there, he advised him he was having some type of psychotic break and he wanted to be put into isolation. So during that time, he was kicking the cell. I guess that made the deputies upset, or the sheriff's officers upset, and they took him into a room to isolate him. But then 5 of them jumped all over him, and I mean not just in the cell. It was 4 white males and 1 black male involved. They beat him up in the cell. They took him out of the cell, slammed him against the wall while kicking him and punching him. And I mean, they were punching so hard that one of the deputies missed him, hit the wall, and broke his hand. That's how hard they were hitting.
In what county was this again?
Camden County, Georgia.
Camden County.
Yeah, they also they were yanking his hair so hard they pulled out one of his dreads. And then they sat him in a chair, handcuffed, and they pushed him back into the cell. Now, there's video of 3 different shots. When they pushed him back into the cell, they were hitting his leg against the bench. And you can kind of see him put up his foot to brace himself. During this time, he never fought back. He was incarcerated for a non-violent offense. I think it was like a suspended license and things like that. But in that situation, it's not just, it's kind of authority against civilian. Considering the colors of those who were doing the offense.
And when I was in the academy, that's actually what's taught. It's us versus them. That's
right.
It's repeated over and over and over, us versus them. And I started, here's the thing, I'm a religious, I guess for lack of better terms, I'm a religious person. I really think God watches me in what I do. I can't go out with the us versus them mentality. I believe in judgment, or what some people may call karma. And I really believe if I was to get that judgment or karma, I'm in the perfect position. If God wants to say, okay, I'm gonna pay you back today, I could just be sitting somewhere typing a report and bang, 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 bang. Like you never know where it's coming from. And, to live that type of life is just utterly ridiculous, man. But that's what it's always the cops that live at home with mom and dad still. Now, mind you now, on the department that I work for, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with living at home, mom and pops, because, times are hard, whatever. But there were a lot of them that still lived at home, or they went to college and just went straight to being a police officer. No life experience at all. And, some cops do some bad things, man.
What ends up into injury is one, they said that he was stored or they had him somewhere where the inmates with mental health issues would be. So one, it looks like he had some mental health problems, and then he got no medical attention the whole time. I think they said for maybe like 15 days. It looks like they wanted him to die. They wanted him to die in that cell. And then they went to charge him with 9 counts of assault and battery and obstruction of an officer. Even
Or
though he never fought fight back.
15 days with
No medical
treatment?
attention. And they charged him, and he didn't punch, he did nothing but try and, shield himself.
But it's going to be somebody somewhere who trying to defend these cops. There's a GoFundMe that's going to be started, and $500,000 going to be put in it for these
They already
cops.
start asking, well, what was he in jail for? What difference does it make? He was just in the cell, minding his business.
That's the worst.
Violent offense, nonetheless. But they were trying to say, oh, maybe he's violent. No, he's
brainwashed for real. You have to create some type of justification because the police are good and this person is in jail, so they have to be a bad person. That's just what it is.
Exactly.
And they could have been falsely charged, whatever the case is. They're a bad person. It doesn't matter if they curled up into a ball and took this beating. What did they do to end up in the jail? It doesn't matter.
And they
What-
knew they were on camera, so they're arrogant. So my thing is, how many other people have you done this to? Because they were
Oh,
all
come
too
on.
comfortable. They were too comfortable.
And hopefully
problem.
this
They
is the
did try and
situation
shield.
that make them start going back into the history to see, okay, if you did
have.
this now, how often or how many times have you done this?
They
You know
pulled
they're
up
not going to do
video.
that.
No, they did. There's an independent agency investigating. They asked them for video footage for the last 30 days, and then they're looking to see if there's any other incidents. Now, let me tell you, these officers, they know where the cameras are, because when they were kicking him, he was just out of the shot.
Yeah, yeah.
Just out of the shot.
Let me touch on what she just said. When working inside of the jail, you do know where your cameras are. All right, for whatever reason, when you want to do something that you're not supposed to be doing, as far as, hey, I want to bring this inside of the pod, or I want to do this, or I'm going to go over here and do. Yeah, you know where those cameras are. So do the inmates. Everybody knows where the cameras are. So they kind of position themselves so that either their face is not on camera, or they kind of out of the camera shot, or you can open up a door like the pod I was in. You can kind of open the door and block the view. So you start learning those things. And that's horrible. There was another incident, Darash, about the police stopping people and sticking their hands down their pants.
Oh yeah, in what is that, Milwaukee? Milwaukee PD. There was, let me get the actual
It was like
number.
74 people, I
It
think.
was 74 or 75 people.
74.
Yeah.
74 black men. by
That
the
were
way.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's be specific. There were 74 African American men that were sexually assaulted by police officers during a stop and frisk, and these men were, all of them were saying they pulled us over, they would frisk us, then he stuck his hand down my pants, and then he put his finger inside my anus, and I'm like, yo, stop. And then I would end up basically getting it would escalate the situation, because I wasn't allowing him to sodomize me. And
Where is this?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee PD.
Hey, Milwaukee buck breaking. That's what they sound. It'll be a title.
Wow. And they're sticking their fingers and these were male cops.
Male cops.
So
Oh, my
sexual
God.
assault, just because I can.
74.
Essentially, just, yeah.
I respect their bravery and their courage, because a lot of men don't come out about their assault because of the fact that they're men, and a lot of them feel shame and they're embarrassed. But they actually came out on the news and was saying exactly what was happening to them. So I really commend them for coming out and speaking out about it.
Very proud about that.
Hey, yeah, definitely. Because I wouldn't want to say that. I'll be honest. I'd be like, man, I would not want to say that. I
Exactly.
feel
Yeah,
real low. Like, what the heck, man?
Emasculated.
Yeah, straight up. And that's what they want to do. They go and want to let that torment you for the rest of your life. You going around as this, and now you a broken black man with the, just because you had a run in with the police. And it could've been for
Nah,
anything.
I'm gonna have to be unsubscribed from life on that one, because
right.
it ain't gonna happen. Like, bro, like this is, and see, and again, this is the reason why. And I don't do so much anymore, because, like Darash said earlier, it's a fight between your own people trying to get them to see it from this perspective, this angle. I used to always tell the black community, no, we should encourage our young men to become police officers, right? Because we should take those positions of authority. Now, granted, you do have the exceptions to the rules, that those just going, they're going to flake. You know how it go. They're going to flake. They're going to COON, if y'all can read. We can't say that either, so I pull the video.
Right.
But, generally speaking, we should encourage our black men to become police officers, because who knows the black community better than the black community? I had a situation. Well, let me real quick. I had a situation where because I had two FTOs. You have two different phases you go through. So I had an FTO, and we are with this guy, and long story short, because we're running short on time. But he's pissing the guy off, and the guy, I see the stance done bladed. The hands, they're not as animated anymore. They're kind of in a certain position. I'm like, oh, this finna go bad. So I stepped in. I'm a rookie. I'm on the job for like maybe 6 weeks. I step in, I start talking to him like, hey, brother, listen, let me talk to you. Long story short, we resolve the situation. He calms down. But if I wasn't there, he was about to take a swing, and we know it wasn't going to end well for the brother. 100 other cops was going to show up, probably lost his life, beat up, injured up, prison, something, but it wasn't going to end well. But I was able to see that, knowing where it was going to go. Hey, and let me talk to you. And we were able to, even at the end of it, give him a ride to his destination. He didn't even so much as go to jail. Go ahead and get your question, Josh.
So do you think that, considering that most officers police based off of their experience, that they should change it and there should be two requirements? One requirement being either you're from the community, you live in the community, so you're familiar with the people that you're policing, and two, an age requirement, because it's hard for an 18-year-old to understand the fact that you have other bills or expenses and you can't afford to renew your pay to have your license or your tag renewed.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think it should be that type of requirement. Some states and some counties actually have where you have to be working inside of the jail first. No gun, no weapons. You know, I think you have like some spray and that's about it. But you have nothing else. So what that forces you to do is use that verbal judo. You got to learn how to talk. De-escalate. And if you can't de-escalate, you can't make it on the street. That should be a requirement for everybody. But that is the end of our third segment. And we are rolling. Fourth segment. This is not one I'm really excited about. Y'all president. He's on the way back.
Y'all president.
Rick, hey.
Man, the Cheeto is coming back.
Yeah. Hey, Rick said he's voting. He said he's voting for him some Trump.
Hey, man, I show in. Hey, bring him back. I'm like, Rafiki, go back and get King Simba. The king gets returned.
And they tell you.
They're going to believe you,
Elon
Rick, in the
actually
comment
just brought
section.
him
They're going to be going
back
off on you.
Yeah, because Trump was actually banned from Twitter since like January 6, 2021. Well, Elon just gave him his account back. And if you know, Trump was king of the tweets. I can't wait till he get going again. I'm going to just be honest.
Me too. I had to add Elon Musk and say, look, I saw you put up the poll. He was 54%, but before the poll went out, I was like, you need to bring him back. Now you talking about all these news stories are coming out about Twitter dying and possibly going away because the headquarters are closed down. This is going to be the way you get back to where you need to be. Everybody's going to join Twitter.
But is Trump going to use it though? Because didn't he open up his own platform?
True Social. He'll probably come back to where the majority of the eyes are.
Trump Jr. is on there, so I'm sure he'll come back just to kind of
Junior.
Yeah, Trump Jr.
I mean,
there's
or
a
he could
junior
just
on
come
there.
back. He could come on there just to send the people from Twitter to his thing. You know, you never know.
Well,
no, because everybody
marketing.
on Twitter already knows about it. A lot of people just aren't going to get on it because it's not as big and it's basically just another Twitter.
Do y'all see
Minus
how Tierra lightens up when we talk about Twitter? Like, I don't know what it is about Twitter. Like, you know, just
Twitter is my life.
I know.
I didn't light up.
Horrible.
I just
Don't lie.
like Twitter.
Don't lie.
She's absolutely glowing.
Right.
Twitter
Every
is
time we talk about
interesting.
Twitter.
I get it. It's
It
interesting.
is. And I can post one tweet and instantly somebody in the UK can see it. My tweets is in South America. Like it's global. So
You can do the same
it's
thing on
neat.
Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
No, you cannot.
Yes, you can.
You just don't have as many friends.
You can only
on
have
there. That's all that
5,000
it is.
friends on Facebook. So there's a max, and it's typically your social circle on
Oh.
Facebook. Twitter, you
I
can
don't even
broad
know.
out.
5,000
No.
people. Why is so many?
5,000 friends.
No.
5,000 friends.
Nobody has 5,000 friends.
Now you realize
I do.
she completely ignored the fact that I named the other social media platform. She completely ignored
Oh,
that.
Instagram.
Oh, I have
Conveniently.
Instagram. It's still not the same. I don't expect you guys to understand. It's okay.
Hey, well, I will say this though. One thing I do like about Trump, you know, I don't vote, but one thing I like about Trump is that you know, that dude's funny. When he called Kim Jong-un, whatever his name is, the little rocket man, I couldn't breathe out of that.
He was calling COVID the China virus. He was like, China. He's funny.
China.
You can't take him being funny.
You,
away
you,
from
you
him.
can't
Now,
say
to
them
be
words
fair-
on here. That's the C word, the jab. You can't say that.
What did I say?
China.
I didn't say it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I said COVID.
That's
what you
look,
can't
look.
All right, let's keep
You
rolling.
can't say it.
Let's keep rolling. Somebody didn't look at the list of words, but what were you saying,
know
Darash?
what?
Fired. You're fired.
But I do, like I said, I do mess with Trump. But look, the one thing we can't say, like I said, is the reason they want to cancel him because they don't want Trump in office because he's so dang on honest that he
That's the
he
thing.
reveals their little secret plans and their secret ideas.
Brutally honest.
That's true. That is true.
Chappelle put that on the spot when he was like, "Oh yeah, I don't pay no taxes. Neither do the people supporting you. They don't pay taxes either, but you ain't saying nothing
Right.
about them."
He said if
That's
it's, he said if
smart. That
it's
makes
such
me
a big
smart.
deal, he said if it's such a big deal, then if you win,
Change it.
go ahead and change the tax code. But I know you won't because you guys receive the same benefits that I do. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
See, he be cutting them.
Yo, when
I thought Hillary was like-
Chappelle did that in his skit, man, it's so funny, but at the same time, it be so true. It's like all he does is take real life situations and just tell you about it, and he just does it in like a very a genius type way though.
It's
But
worded
I-
so nicely.
Yeah.
I want to say this about Trump because they spoke so badly about Trump. Look at what Biden has done, because everybody, Biden should have won. But Biden has been in office for a couple of years now, and he ain't did nothing but almost unsubscribe from life on us.
Thank you. How many stimulus checks have you gotten under Biden, though? How many stimulus checks?
At least Trump
when Trump was in office, them checks was being
but even more than the stimulus checks, because people swore up and down he didn't do anything. Like it's a list. Here's a list of the things that Trump did. It said
Rick vote Darash voting too. Rick, Darash gonna vote with you too. He got him ready.
Together, baby. We are together.
Yeah. America gained 7 million jobs. That's more than 3 times the government's experts' projection at the time when Trump came into office. It says the middle class income increased nearly $6,000 annually, which is a big deal. Unemployment rate reached 3.5%, which was the lowest in the past 50 years. He achieved 40 months in a row with more job openings and job hirings. More Americans reported being employed than ever before. Jobless claims hit nearly a nearly 50-year low. The number of people claiming unemployment insurance as a share of the population hit a low record. So unemployment went down as far as like trying to get those unemployment checks, government help. Income rose in every single metro area in the United States for the first time in nearly 3 decades. Now that one is a very big deal. So when you talk about, and I mean, shoot, there's so much more.
List.
Yeah.
I was just sitting back waiting like, well, damn.
I want to deal with the quote unquote black community. It says unemployment rates for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, veterans, individuals with disabilities, and those without a high school diploma reached record lows. So those people who couldn't get jobs before because they didn't have the credentials, more of them started to become employed. Unemployment for women hit its lowest in 70 years. Lifted nearly 7 million people off of food stamps. The list goes on. Poverty rates for African Americans and Hispanics reached a record low. It's a laundry list, but we hold on to the fact that he's a racist. Well,
because that's what they told us to say.
Now, to be fair, he did bring a lot of them out of the woodworks. But let's be honest, Joe Biden is no better. George Bush was no
Joe
better.
Biden called your children roaches, okay? Joe Biden called your kids roaches. And if Trump is racist, he's a cool racist. He did.
Hey, and I'd rather be
I'm joking if anybody say anything in the comment section.
Can choose monkeys over roaches. I'm just saying, I don't want scatter and stuff when the lights come on.
Nah, sir, I'm not taking either one of those.
So on a more serious
have that.
On a more serious tip, so if Trump comes back into office, what do you think the outcome would be?
Oh, he's gonna get elected.
Hands down. One, I believe he's going to be elected because everyone's tired of Biden, and 2, I believe again, people have taken away a lot of the things that he did for the African American community, and that was the thing. Because then when you ask, what was so bad about Trump? What
they don't even know what he was doing for our communities because nobody was reporting on it. They have no idea how much money he was pouring into our communities.
And what he did for the middle class, so, socioeconomically speaking, majority of middle class. We're like lower middle class, Caucasians are like upper middle class and middle class. But he did a lot for them as a whole, financially speaking. So to sit there and say, "Oh, he did nothing," sir, you have to.
I will say this. Great again. Really quick. I will say this. Tasha was speaking on those checks that was being cut. Now I didn't even know I'm so disconnected and unattached from this thing. I didn't know checks. I'm like, where does money keep coming from every month? She was like, it keep coming in. I think they took it back though, didn't they?
Abiyah just found out. Excuse me, Tasha, we had checks.
Yeah.
I said, we don't need to together. Just be like, oh, okay, we got extra spending money.
Yeah, I was like, where's this coming from? Like, and then she was like, oh, this is a stimulus check. I'm like, stimulus check? Like, I was so detached from the whole situation. I didn't know. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm sure we had to pay it back, but, it did help. It hit the spot sometimes when we were coming short. It was helping. I can't say the same thing under the same administration. What have they done? What have you done for me lately besides call my kids roaches?
Exactly.
And look
at a lot of our black men to jail.
And that was in the past. See, we gotta let go of the past.
No, we can't let go of the past. Because he didn't change none of that. If you really didn't feel that way, you would come in and he would have went unroaded.
Did away.
Yeah, you got
But you know what he
Howard
did?
now.
You know what he did do? You know what he did do? He sent billions of dollars to the
Forget.
Ukraine.
what?
He did.
He sent billions of dollars to the Ukraine, right?
Mhm.
Wait. Stop. Let's not get too touchy on the you situation. I received the email from, let me say this, I received the email from Google AdSense that we cannot talk about that, else they would shut down the whole paying experience and we won't receive anything. Yes.
Yeah.
Listen,
Okay.
but listen though, listen. Kanye was crazy when he said they control our voice. Okay? Just want to let y'all know that he was really crazy. But I did receive an email from
You might want to stop the time.
the Google people to say that we can't talk about that, okay? Because our voices are
wild.
not being controlled by the people.
Okay,
So
so I'll
we
say
basically gotta do it like
something
Voldemort.
separate.
You know what I'm saying? You get treated like Voldemort. He must not be named.
I'll say
Yeah,
I'll say it separately. I mean, I'll say it differently. So he sent a lot of money overseas.
Oh, okay.
Even
yeah.
though, and he didn't do much. He sent billions of dollars overseas to help people with their military or whatever the
supplies.
case, and supplies. But he has not done much, period, aside from inflation here. And I'm pretty sure a part of it is due to all that money that he has to send overseas. So,
Right.
you know,
Your
everybody was like
responsibility.
Biden. Everybody was like Biden, you know, Trump, and it's like, well,
Now, also
you
understand,
got-
it's going to
you got
more
it.
than one country overseas. There's billions of dollars going to different countries.
Exactly.
Now,
Take care of
while
home, don't take care
homelessness
of
is
overseas.
while millions of people are homeless in America,
Right.
And in addition to that, I don't. Does anyone know about the Flint situation? Did they ever get the water?
I don't
The
think
Flint-
out of
It's still bad.
still.
The
Okay.
Flint
They got-
They got
situation.
new filters.
Hold on. The
But we
Flint
can send billions of
situation.
dollars.
The Flint situation is still going. It's not going to get better. The water is going to stay brown, and the other countries are going to receive billions of dollars. Tasha, what you think
Okay.
about that?
Okay.
Tasha,
Yeah,
Ray.
I think that's an issue. I think they should be concerned about taking care of home first before they start taking care of overseas. I think that should be their main focus and their main responsibility. And I know there was a gentleman, didn't he invent a device that created water from air? And then they went
Yes.
and messed up the device because he placed it
Mhm.
there to try and help out.
It
And they
pulls
went
the
and
water out of
sabotaged
the
it.
air and makes drinking water. Yeah.
And
But they've
and
already
they
taken care of the
destroyed that. They
situation.
sabotaged
And-
that.
And to
in
take
Flint,
it
the
back
situation's taken
to-
care of though.
Yeah, to
Because here's
take
what
it
they
back-
did. Oh, my fault. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, to take it back to Trump just for a second. I don't know if his journey to presidency is going to be as smooth, because it's looking like he's going to have to battle other Republicans for the head of the GOP. A lot of Republicans have actually turned on Trump as of recently because some of the issues that he has legally and
He
some of the
talked too
issues that he's
much.
had in the public. Yeah, so they're saying that he might struggle with battling other Republicans who might take his spot. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch.
The problem
We'll see
is
how much money he got. And
The-
if he can pay him off enough, then hey, he can do something. You know what I'm saying? But here's what I love about Trump, and the things people seem to forget is he's not only making it cool to dislike, to publicly dislike Negroes, but he's forcing certain Black people to deal with each other, deal with their own, and he's forcing us to understand that hey, this is how everybody really thinks. So if you understand that's how they really think, then you got to accept the reality and stop pretending like it ain't there. You know what I'm saying? It's a great thing. I like seeing how things for what they are instead of just pretending like it ain't like it is.
right. And the thing is, I like to look at the world for what it really is, not for what you told me to see. Right. So the thing with Trump is this: I think people are now we're in the awakening phase. A lot of people awakening to reality of what is really going on. Even we can bring Trump into this phase, right? A lot of people are looking at, okay, like I may not be, for this party or that party, but if you stop and look at the facts, like all these things that the list of facts that Darash has listed off, even the Democrats are calling for, hey, like a lot of people that we know are from the vote Democrat. What are they talking about? If Trump run, I'm voting for Trump. Why? Because Biden has did such a piss poor job that you made Trump look like, the guy to be in the seat. And it's just the fact of the matter is because, you might have said when he first got there, I didn't like this guy, I don't like this guy, or I'm not for this guy, whatever. But if you got to look at the political side of it, he did much more than Biden, and he did much more for the people than Biden ever has. I don't think the only thing I know that Biden did is just send money overseas. What else can we talk about? Is there anything else?
Trump,
Oh, inflation. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then with Trump, let me just say one thing. I think that's a title that they gave him, just like Kanye and Kyrie, where they named them anti-Sem, because, and I'm, trying to considered
Gotcha.
an algorithm or whatever. But with Trump, he's done a lot for the African American community. There's stories about when he was younger, the fact that he would give out loans to people who couldn't get loans at the bank. And then he would say, okay, you come pay me back after this particular time. They would come to pay him the money back with the interest. And he tells them, you know what, keep it. I'm happy your business was successful. I don't even want the money back.
That's definitely factual.
And what's crazy is this, right? People always said that, oh, Trump, he don't like black people, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what has, again, we're not talking about his followers, the ones that came out the woodworks and they don't like us, but what proof can you find that shows that Trump is anti-African American?
They really can't. They believe what they were told to believe, and that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, and all conservatives, all Republicans are, racist. That's the mindset that people have. Like you said, we don't think for ourselves.
Right. Man, y'all gonna get tore up in these comment sections.
Hey, go do your research.
Okay. You know what's crazy? That's going to happen, but you're gonna have a lot of people that be like, dang, these are independent thinkers that are like, that have really thought this through. So, we'll get slapped on both sides. We'll get complimented.
Right.
We'll get hated on.
And for myself, like a person, like I really don't get into politics for several reasons, religious reasons being one of them. I don't get into the politics, but I still can sit back and use my brain to see that Trump did a lot more than Biden is doing right now. It doesn't take a genius or some type of rocket scientist to figure this out. But that's the end of our fourth segment. We have come to a conclusion of the show. Listen, if you guys have not hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you hit it. Make sure now when you hit the subscribe button, hit the gray bell so you can be notified. All right. Make sure you're notified. Stay tuned. We got some good interviews coming up. We've already tonight we have actually, no, it's not airing tonight, is it? No, it's going to be airing next week. We have Dr. Umar Johnson coming up. That's going to be a good one. Still working on Reza Islam. Hey, Reza, if you ever come across this show, brother, I text you. I'm waiting for you to get back to me. We got Reza Islam. We're trying to get in here as well. And a lot of names. We've already interviewed Dr. Boyce Watkins, Ari Spears, New Breed, Global Truth. So we have a lot more coming through. So you guys make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to get out of here. But before we do, Tiara, give us some closing words.
Absolutely. So you can visit my blog at mamaszahome.com. I created a place for women who are passionate about home life, homemaking, homeschooling, recipes, etc. It's a safe space for us. So yeah, definitely check me out. I can't wait to talk to you ladies.
Yep. And she's going to teach you how to use Twitter as well. Darash, give us some closing words.
That's hilarious. Man, I haven't gotten it up yet, but in addition to this podcast, in addition to current events and politics and religion, one of my loves, I would call it, is health and fitness. So I'm getting my page together, Fit Tips Network. You guys be on the lookout for that. And when it's up and running, we're talking about exercise and how it overall helps your health, your brain function, cognition. We're talking about healthy diets. We're talking about the effects of not having enough exercise. We're going to go into more so the scientific side of exercise, and then we'll also deal with recipes and things of that nature.
Some good stuff.
You guys be on the lookout for that.
That's some good stuff. Definitely. All right, Tasha, give us some closing words.
It's always a pleasure being on the panel. So closing words, if you want to get in contact with me, you can reach me by going to Tasha at InsideTheNationRadio.com. Again, Tasha, Tasha at InsideTheNationRadio.com. I will be doing taxes this year. So if you have any interest, you want to get on the waiting list, feel free to hit me over there. And then that way we can start to have some discussions about some things you can do to prepare for tax season.
All right. And she is a financial guru. I call it a human calculator. So make sure you do hit her up because, you didn't have this in there. It's not just about taxes. We're actually introducing life-changing information. Don't just listen, Walmart knows when the black community get their taxes. You know what they do? They roll all those big screen TVs to the front of the store. Remember that one stimulus that they released about a year and a half, 2 years ago for like $500? And the first thing that Walmart did, it was rolled all the TVs to the front of the store for $500. Why? Because they know broke.
$99.99.
This is what it is. Broke people And don't take this as an insult. Understand what I'm saying. Broke people will take their small funds and buy TVs or things like that, materialistic things. That's the mindset of a broke individual. But an individual who has who's investing and making the money work for them, they're going to take that same money and make it work for them. So that 500 is going to bring them another 500, right? Don't take your money and just run straight to Walmart or Best Buy and buy TVs. Invest that money so now that you don't have to depend on a check once a year from the government to give you back some of what you've already worked for. Use your brains. Rick, give us some closing words.
Hey, first thing I want to say, make sure everybody subscribes to the channel, like, subscribe, share, share the Twitter, share the, Tiara's going to be on that. Share the TikTok, share it on IG, get the thing out there, get the word out, because like I said, it's going to be the show that everybody's going to be looking for. So let's keep that thing going. And of course, you can check out my channel, Talk the Truth Radio. So, and like I said, still under some construction, get some more stuff going to get more videos out. I got a few of them out right now, and going to continue to push, getting more consistent panelists, and then we'll really take off from there.
All right. And y'all make sure y'all follow me on Twitter too, because she done talk me into getting to Twitter, and I ain't got no followers. I just created my Twitter account. Wait, no, I do got Tasha follow me. I got one follower. My other co-host didn't even follow me on Twitter, right? Right, yeah, I got one follower. That's so messed up, It's all good though. So y'all make sure y'all follow me on Twitter. That's Abiyah at ISTN, and also follow us on Instagram. All right, Abiyah or Inside the Nation Radio on Instagram. With that being said, we are out of time. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Again, hit that like and subscribe. Tongue tied. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we are out.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining Inside the Nation Radio, your go-to for the latest happenings and the best discussions. Be sure to tune in next time. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Goodbye.